Today's language, we will be doing page 33. The first thing we want to do is look at the board, and we are going to divide these sentences into the subject and the predicate. So what is the subject? The subject is who or what the sentence is about. What is the predicate?
What they're doing.
Right? The first sentence, please look up here, is in autumn. Read it with me, guys. Come on.
In autumn, the leaves change color.
So what is this sentence about? Grace? Autumn. So that's, no it's not. Sorry.
The leaves.
It's about the leaves. Is autumn doing something? No, the leaves are doing something. So that needs to go after. After leaves. It is not about autumn. It's about the leaves. What are changing color, guys? What's changing color? Autumn?
No.
The leaves. Okay, so the subject, underline it once. Read the subject for me.
In autumn, the leaves
And the predicate would be?
change color.
So, well, this is change color. Okay? Next sentence. My family and I pick apples. Lily, what would the subject be?
My family.
Is that all? Abby, help her out. My family and I. It's not a little bit more than just my family. It's also and I. Because there can be a compound subject or two subjects, family and I. So you need to put the line after the word I because you want to include both of the subjects. I's up here. Alright? So what is the subject, everyone?
My family and I.
My family and I. And what would the predicate be?
Pick apples.
Pick apples. That's going to get underlined twice. Eyes up here. Mom, read it with me.
Mom makes applesauce.
What is the subject there? Owen?
Mom.
Just mom. Because she's the one that's doing something, right? So what is the subject? Mom. So underline mom once. And what does mom do?
Makes applesauce.
So that would be your predicate. Underline that twice. Alright, the next one says, my brother and I enjoy warm apple cider. Alright? Zeke.
My brother and I.
Yes, my brother and I. Just like my family and I, this one is also a compound subject. So my brother and I. So everyone, what is the subject?
My brother and I.
My brother and I. And what do my brother and I do?
Enjoy warm apple cider.
So that would be the predicate getting two lines underneath it. Alright. The second thing we're going to do, we're going to look at some posters. Sorry for the ride, Sammy. Here you go to the other side of the room. So we can look at the sentences on this side of the board. Alright. I have it all. I think I do. Alright, first thing I want to do is review the types of sentences. Alright, so what are the types of sentences? You needed to know this for your quiz yesterday, but we have a declarative sentence, which is a telling sentence because it makes a statement and ends in a period. Then we have an interrogative sentence, which asks a question. So it's an asking sentence and ends in a
Question mark.
And then we have an exclamatory sentence, which shows sudden or strong feeling. So it's an exciting sentence and ends with a exclamation mark or exclamation point. And last of all, we have an imperative sentence, which gives a command. So it is a command and it ends in a period, just like the declarative sentence did. All right. Now, let's look at these sentences, and we are going to do more than one thing. We are going to say what kind of sentence it is, and then we need to insert the ending punctuation, but we also need to put commas if they're necessary. So where do all our eyes need to be right now? Over there. Yeah, sort of on me, but really over there, okay? Is there anybody that can't see because of this thing? All right, let me move this thing. I can't help it about the camera. You just have to move one way or another so you can see the camera, but I can move this thing. All right, first sentence, everybody read it with me. Corbin, did you leave the door open? All right, you know what, let's just start with Brennan. Brennan, what kind of sentence is that? Corbin, did you leave the door open? What?
Interrogative.
Interrogative, very good. All right, so that brings me to Tess. Tess, how would I punctuate the ending of the sentence?
And question mark.
It's a question. Corbin, did you leave the door open? So you're going to insert a question mark at the end. All right? There is something else missing. Landon, can you tell me what else is missing in that sentence?
Put a comma after Corbin.
Yes, because what are you doing?
Direct address.
Yes, talking to Corbin, that's direct address, comma, because of direct address, talking to somebody named Corbin. Asking Corbin, did you leave the door open? Direct address. Number 2, please stand, class, and say the pledges. All right, so what kind of sentence would that be? Alex, please stand, class, and say the pledges. Declarative, interrogative, explanatory, or imperative? Say it again. Are you saying declarative?
Yeah.
No. Eric?
Imperative.
Imperative, because it's a command. Please stand. That's a command. I told you to do something. Command, okay? So imperative. So Alex, if it is imperative, what kind of punctuation would I put at the end of it? A period. Very good. So insert a period. Which brings us to Micah. Young man, you need to sit up. Sit up. Don't let me say that again. What else is missing in that?
The comma.
Where do I need to put the comma? After what?
Class.
Okay. After class? Why? Why do I need a comma after class? That's right, I'm talking to the class. Jonathan?
Also before class.
Yes, also before class, because class comes in the middle, not at the end and not the beginning. Like Corbin came at the beginning, so you put the comma after. Class comes right there in the middle, so you need it before and after. And again, don't forget your insert marks when you need to do that. Next sentence says, I wonder when Mrs. Harris will return. This one's a tiny bit tricky. I hope you get it right. Lily, what do you think? What kind of sentence would that be? Interrogative. That's what a lot of people say. Is that interrogative though?
No.
If it was interrogative, you would say, when will Mrs. Harris return? But if you say, I wonder when Mrs. Harris will return, you are just telling me that you wonder, right? To ask it, interrogative, it's when will Mrs. Harris return, not I wonder. I wonder. That's declarative.
It's declarative.
Yeah, well, I already just told you that. But anyway, how would you punctuate it? End of the sentence.
You would put a P at the end.
Very good. Because it is declarative, because you're just saying, I wonder. You guys understand that? Even though there is something you're wondering about, you're not actually asking. You're just saying, I wonder. I wonder when Mrs. Harris will return. All right, is there anything else needed in that sentence? Owen?
Before and after Mrs. Harris.
How many of you agree with him? How many of you do not agree with him? Why? How many of you don't think it should be there? Somebody that doesn't think it should be there, tell me why. Grace?
Because you're not talking to
Yeah, you're not talking to Mrs. Harris. Are you talking to Mrs. Harris here?
No.
You're talking about Mrs. Harris. I wonder when Mrs. Harris will return. In this sentence, you were talking to somebody named Corbin. Corbin, did you leave the door open? Here, you're not talking to Mrs. Harris. You're talking about Mrs. Harris. You only put commas when you're talking. In this one, you were talking to the class, telling the class to stand up. Please stand, class, for pledges. Are we talking to Mrs. Harris? No, we're talking about her. You don't put commas just because you see a name. You put commas when you're talking to somebody. All right, next sentence. No, I did not forget my lunch. No, I did not forget my lunch. Didn't you already have a turn? All right, so I will let people that didn't have a turn do it. So, Lily, you want to tell me what kind of sentence this is? Yes, this one is declarative. Just like the last one. And Owen, how would you punctuate it?
With a period.
With a period, because it is declarative. And Adam, is there anything else?
Before forget.
Why?
Because
What rule did we learn that says to put a comma before the word forget? This is not something we're making up. We've learned rules, use your rules. So Adam, use your rules. There is something missing, I agree. But don't just make something up. You look at that and you tell me.
after
Please,
no.
what?
Put a comma after no.
Yes, because that's a rule we learned, right? After yes or no at the beginning of a
I
sentence.
have a question too.
What?
Why do you have a comma after all?
Because this is something to learn in the future. It's a phrase before the actual subject.
Okay.
Right? So when you have a phrase before the actual subject, you put a comma there. But you guys won't have to be responsible for that. You'll learn it later. It'll be a different comma rule that you'll never learn until as you get older. But when it's needed, I'm going to put it.
Okay.
Okay? But you guys won't have that rule. All right, last sentence. Yes, I got an A+ on my test. Whose turn is it? It is Maya's turn. You need to pay attention.
Declarative.
I don't agree. Yes, I got an A+ on my test. Grace, what kind of sentence would that be? You know now?
Yeah.
Yeah, exclamatory. I don't think you're going to go, yes, I got an A+ on my test. You're going to go, yes, I got an A+ on my test, right? So that is exclamatory. So how are we going to punctuate it, Zeke?
With an exclamation.
Very good. Insert exclamation mark. And what else is missing, Grace?
Put a comma after this.
Very good. Comma after yes, because the rule is comma after yes or no at the beginning of the sentence. All right. Let's just go back through really, really quickly. And I want you to tell me the nouns in the first sentence. I'm not going to circle them. We're just going to say them. Corbin, did you leave the door open? What are the nouns?
Corbin.
Corbin and door. Please stand, class, and say the pledges.
Please.
Not please. Somebody said please, not please. Class and pledges. I wonder when Mrs. Harris will return. Mrs. Harris, very good. No, I did not forget my lunch. Lunch, just lunch. And yes, I got an A+ on my test. And? Test. Very good, excellent. All right, the new rule we're going to learn today has to do with making words plural. It is not on the chart. Let's review the rules on the chart. Most of the time, you're just going to add S to make words plural. But if the word ends in CH, SH, SXSV, add ES. If a word ends in F or FE, change the F or FE to a V and add ES. A word ending in Y, preceded by a consonant, change the Y to an I and add ES. A word ending in Y, preceded by a vowel, just add S. Today we're going to learn that sometimes the word does something really weird and it just changes entirely. Here you're going to write again, Sammy. Back to this side of the board. All right, so if you look right here, I have a list of words. And the list of words starts with the word man. Man is singular or plural? Everyone, wake up. Wake up and pay attention. Man is singular. Man is plural. Woman is singular. Women is plural. I want you to notice man and woman, man, woman, they both have man in it. So if you know man is singular, then you know woman is singular. And you know men is plural, so you know women is plural. Does that make sense? Raise your hand if you don't understand that. Okay, next we have foot, which is singular, and feet, which would be plural. Tooth, which would be singular, and teeth, which would be plural. Okay, so the word just changes entirely. They have a few more on your paper. If you look at the top of your paper, you see the man, men, and the next one they show you is child, children. One child, lots of children. Then they have foot, feet, which was on the board. Then they have mouse. What is the plural of mouse? Mice. Everybody see that? One mouse, but a lot of mice. If you see one mouse in your house, then there probably really are mice in your house, right? Yeah. Then we have goose and geese, which is similar to the foot and feet and the tooth and teeth. One goose, a lot of geese. Then we have woman and women, which I had on the board, and ox and oxen. One ox, a whole herd of oxen, and last of all, tooth, teeth, which I already have on the board. All right, let's look at your paper. In pioneer days, ox pulled plows. What is the plural of ox? Oxen. So then write oxen on the line. All right, the man would stand behind the plows and guide them. So how are you going to change that? Men. Man becomes men. Why are you not doing your paper? You're too busy raising your hand instead of doing your paper. We've already done oxen. Ox, oxen. Now we're doing man, men. I want those hands down, and we're going to do the paper. All right, next one. Child often helped plant crops like potatoes and corn. Children, because you need more than one. Please look at the way children is spelled. Let's not prop our heads up. Let's hold our paper still while we're writing. This hand holds paper still, so it's not moving around as you write. Okay, what do you need to remember to do on children? Capitalize it. Guys, that is the beginning of the sentence. That should be capitalized. Even though children doesn't normally have to be capitalized, it should be capitalized there because that is the beginning of your sentence. So if you did not capitalize it, please do so. Sometimes woman gathered for a quilting bee. Woman. No, woman is singular. How do you pronounce it when it's plural? Woman. No. You just said the same thing. You said woman. What is this one? Woman. No, I see a lot of women. 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 I see a lot of women over there talking, not woman. This is woman. Woman and women. Woman and women. I don't know why, but that's what they say, okay? Women. Look at all the women talking. One woman, lots of women. That's an N. Pay attention. All right, the next one says, when their foot were too big for their shoes, children gave their shoes to a younger brother or sister. Feet. Plural foot is feet. All right, I just want you to look at the bottom and then we'll go back to the middle section. At the bottom, you're going to write the plural form of the singular noun. Buddy. What's the rule there? What does that word end in? I-E. No, it does not end in an I-E. It ends in a what?
Y.
Please answer my question. The word buddy ends in a Y. What's in front of the Y? A consonant. So what's the rule? Change the Y to an I and add ES. Don't forget to put both the D's. Some of you yesterday made the mistake of dropping a letter that you shouldn't have been dropping. So some of you lost points. Maybe you did do IES, so I give you partial credit. But some of you, like when you did babies, you spelled it B-A-I-E-S. Well, what about the B-A-B in babies? You can't drop that B, right? All right, the next one is side. Is there a rule for that?
No.
I don't need you to tell me side. I need you to tell me what you should do.
Just
add S. Thank you. So write the word side and just add S. Zeke, you're not paying attention again. We've already done number 1, honey. You need to wake up. Whatever you're daydreaming about, leave it outside and stay with me in class. Do you understand me? All right, the next one is biography. What is that word in it? Y. What's in front of the Y?
A consonant.
So we're going to change the Y to an I and add ES. Make sure you write the whole word carefully, looking at it, but when you get to the Y, that's the only letter you change. Change that Y to an I. The rest of the word should be written just as it is. And add ES. That is a pretty long word. Last word is spy. What's in front of that Y? Which is a consonant. So again, you're going to change the Y to an I and add ES. All right, now I want you to go back up to the middle section. This will take people longer. That's why I skipped it. It says write the kind of sentence using the plural form of each noun. So it's a declarative sentence. Are you using goose? No, you're using the plural form, which is
Geese.
So a declarative sentence about geese. Then an interrogative sentence using the plural of tooth. So you're using teeth. So an interrogative sentence using teeth. And last of all, an exclamatory sentence. They say mouse, so you're going to use
Mice.
So an exclamatory sentence using the word mice. You may be